Yesterday we dove into Ultra League with a Swampert best teams video. Now I'm gonna focus on Walrein because this Pokemon is really good. So we're gonna have 4 teams that I'm gonna showcase to you so that you can have a better understanding of the meta and of course how to use those teams that I'm gonna showcase to you with Walrein being their main star. So Walrein up on the lead is gonna do a lot of things, but on the first team I'm gonna use it as a safe switch. You're already seeing that this team is kinda familiar and you can always play it not only on the open meta but also on the Premier Classic. So this line is gonna be extremely good. Those picks synergize pretty well with each other and it makes no surprise to anyone because those picks are also gonna be centered top tier picks on the Open Ultra League, especially if you run on PvPoke. You're gonna see Swampert, Walrein and Trevenant pretty much everywhere on the teams, and if you pair them correctly in one line, well, you're just gonna have so much fun. We're having as a closer the Swampert, which I like it as a shadow to be honest, because that earthquake damage is just gonna do tremendous amount of work against the enemy. We also have the Hydro Cannon of this Pokemon, which is gonna be your main way to go pretty much against anything, and of course back-to-back Hydro Cannons with Shields up can do a lot of work even against a very bad counter for Swampert. So you can see as to why Swampert can work as a closer for this line. Trevenant up on the lead is gonna cover a lot of things in the meta and can protect from fighters that Walrein of yours, so this is gonna be your main synergy that you are looking for. The backline can also protect Trevenant from those fire flying Pokemon. So if we're talking about Premier Classic, well, that is gonna be Charizard, and if we're gonna talk about Open Ultra League, that is gonna be Talonflame. So this team works pretty well with each other. Core breaker of this line is gonna be just another Walrein because you only have the mirror as a solid answer to that Pokemon. However, those seed bombs can still hurt that Walrein of the opposing side, and of course you still have Earthquake, which with shields down is gonna do so much damage to the Walrein that sometimes they will not be able to handle it. Now for this next one, we're having a Walrein up on the lead, and we're gonna see how this backline can help Walrein finish off certain threats in the meta. So starting off with Walrein up on the lead, you mainly focus on those fire types your opponent might have, on those flying types that your opponent might have, and perhaps some grasses, something like a Trevenant, because up on the lead Trevenant can still lose to Walrein. It is gonna be super close, but still you can take that seed bomb that they might throw at you, while your Icicle Spears in combination with the Powder Snows are just gonna be enough to finish off that Trevenant in one blow. At the back here we got Charizard as a closer, which is gonna help a lot not only on the open format but also on the Premier Classic. But since here on this line we're gonna have Giratina, well, you can use this team only on Open Ultra. Gonna have here that Charizard, as you can see, with Dragon Claw, Wing Attack and Blast Burn. Wing Attack has recently given a new whole gameplay to that Charizard, and right now it is much better, pretty much better than the other moves that like Fire Spin and Dragon Breath that it carries. So you can see that Charizard is gonna be a very good closer for any team, and if you can pair it correctly with certain mons like these ones, you're gonna be on a very good spot overall. I really like the synergy with the backline and the Walrein. The backline can really protect that Walrein from certain threats, while the whole line can work pretty well against Trevenant. We got Giratina as a safe switch with Shadow Claw, Ancient Power and Dragon Claw. You can always use either Ancient Power or that Shadow Sneak for that Trevenant matchup, but I really like Ancient Power because a lot of trainers tend to have at the back either a Charizard or another flyer like a Talonflame or a Pidgeot, which is pretty meta common right now. We can also see that we run Shadow Claw, but you can always run Dragon Breath if you feel like you have to, because this is gonna help you more against certain threats, something like a Dark type for example. Core breaker of this line is gonna be the Aurorus, but I don't think you're gonna see any Aurorus around. But if you are, well, it is kinda game over for you because you do not have any answer at all to this Pokemon, and it can get there to their moves pretty fast. The only good thing about that one is gonna be that it is gonna be extremely classy. If you're looking for something more unique than the ordinary, well, here you have it, trainers, with that Steelix up as a closer. So we're gonna have not only the closer of the Steelix, but also Tapu Fini upon the lead, which is gonna do a lot of work against the meta, being neutral mostly against anything, while you can hold down certain elements of that Open Ultra League. You cannot use this team on the Premier Classic, not only because you're using Excels for Steelix, you can always use 100% Steelix and still participate on Premier Classic without Excels, but you have Tapu Fini on the team, which is legendary, unfortunately. So let's focus here on the Open Ultra League for now. We're gonna have Tapu Fini up on the lead, able to do a lot of work against a lot of threats. Those fighters, those dragon types, you can still hold them down, while you can do a lot of work against dark types as well. Having that water gun up on the lead is gonna help you most likely against other elements, something like a fire type or something like a Stunfisk, for example. You're able to hold down also that Swampert, which is a key element on breaking down Charizard, so having an anti-core breaker Pokemon is gonna be pretty cool up on the lead, and if you can get that lead, this team will almost guarantee that you're gonna have a very good end game as well. You're having two very heavy mons at the back, as always. We're gonna have Walrein, but also Steelix, which has now access to Psychic Fangs, Dragon Tail and Crunch, or Earthquake, whatever you decide, but Psychic Fangs is gonna be what will make this Pokemon special. I have a Shadow one here, but you can always use whatever you like. A regular one will be much safer, to be honest, because after the debuffs, that Shadow bonus up on the attack stat will don't matter at all. Steelix is gonna be able to steal pressure with all those Dragon Tails, and of course Earthquake is gonna be your main nuke move, while Psychic Max will just be there for spam and perhaps will give you some really nice farm downs with your Dragon Tail, as you're gonna see in a while. Core Breaker here is gonna be that Red Steel, because it can kinda hold down that matchup with Tapu Fini. It can still get close for Tapu Fini, but that Zap Cannon really hurts, and of course the Zap Cannon and the Focus Blast will take care of the back line. Other than that, I don't think that there are gonna be any other significant weaknesses, so you're gonna have a very good matchup overall with this line. Final team showcase, trainers, and we have yet another Walrein up on the lead. This time though, we're not gonna focus on the Walrein because we already know how spammy this Pokemon is, going with Icicle Spears most of the time and perhaps going for that Earthquake for some massive damage into their Steel type Pokemon. We don't care at all anymore, at least for Walrein, because at the back we have Buzzle and Stunfisk. So about Stunfisk, it's gonna be our safe option, but I'm more than excited to showcase to you the battles with this Buzzle. So Buzzle is gonna do a lot of work against the enemy, especially if you happen to have a very good and solid matchup against them, and if you do not, well, something like a Trevenant or a Flyer will just farm you down. So this is how I decided to build up this team. I used Buzzle. I was thinking that all that Buzzle loses to is gonna be the Flyers and the Trevenant, so I paired it up definitely with Walrein because it is a very good Trevenant and flying killer, while at the back we also have Stunfisk, which can go pretty well against the Flyers, and of course it is gonna have a very neutral matchup with Trevenant. So with that in mind, I was going in there with my Buzzle, having a lot of fun, and this team actually worked. So I'm just gonna recommend to you, trainers, because this line is gonna be extremely good. You can see here that despite the fact that we have a double anti-flying team, we're still gonna be kinda weak to a Flyer, and that is gonna be not the Charizard, but instead that Talonflame, because Talonflame is gonna have that fire type fast attack, the Incinerate, which can be easily vamped up with the Flame Charge and can do a lot of work even to the Stunfisk. And here on Ultra League, that Talonflame can still take a pure Rock Slide and still survive, which can be kinda a bummer. And of course against Buzzle, it absolutely walls it down, because nothing you can throw at the Talonflame will be shielded at all, and you are barely gonna even reach it to the 50% HP. Against Walrein, it is kind of an iffy matchup because those Icicle Spears are still gonna do all the work you need against Talonflame, but still if they bait you with that Flame Charge, things can get kinda out of hand. That's all, trainers. Thank you for watching, thank you for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and write down in the comment section your thoughts about what the next Pokemon should be that I have to showcase for you on Ultra League. Till the next time, take care, trainers!